Profiteering Berk divers. That was He Has Returned by Glory Hammer. Something a bit more mainstream than I usually go for, but one that I feel is appropriate given recent events. Commander Rod has returned to the front lines after being exposed to termitid spores during a drop that led to a severe case of pneumonia. My friend came very close to his end. I had wondered why the Freedom Alliance had not contacted me for some time. I was afraid the Ministry had gotten to them before I could, but then I saw what was being posted to Super Discord of Rod undergoing medical treatment. No, it's okay. I'm good. I'm not going to cry on air. I'm fine. I can get through this. I'm just glad you're okay, Commander. It is so good to have you back, sir. Alright, we have an awful lot to get into today, so let's dive right into it, starting with news from the Galactic Sphere. The fight for Tarek was won as of yesterday morning, and now the Liberation Fleet has split into two distinct halves. The first half is assailing Boar Rock and dealing with arboreal interception. 9 out of 10 Helldivers agree that Swamp Worlds just suck to deal with. The second half has deployed to Zzaniah Prime along with Jesse to try to tackle the Northern Galactic Periphery and the Angry Toasters taking up space and doing inappropriate things to the Wi-Fi there. No, stop that, you awful socialistic little contraptions. It's not a witch, it's your Wi-Fi. In community news, it has come to my attention that the Special Forces Demon Corps has opted to join the Freedom Alliance. I am overjoyed to see these two communities that I have long since been a member of come together like this. This is a new era for liberty, freedom, and democracy, and the enemies of our way of life don't stand a chance against our combined might. Next on the docket is a new alliance order, Operation Dark Echo. This goes back to those whack job cultists that I mentioned a few days ago. Well, while those chucklemongers in the Ministry of Truth might be unwilling to do anything about it, the Freedom Alliance is not nearly so passive. Honestly, I'm with the Silver on this one. If I was in charge of the Ministry of Truth, first of all, you all would be significantly better off. But I wouldn't dirty Super Earth's hands on this either. Just send the Helldivers in and let them take care of it. You guys always do. Truth enforcers have recently uncovered evidence of dissident activity spreading across several sectors. A group calling themselves Disciples of the Deep have begun worshipping the Meridia Black Hole as some sort of undemocratic deity. I have had to deal with enough cultists of questionable mental stability in my life recently, please and thank you. In addition to their unsanctioned religious activities and thought crimes, the dissidents have also been conducting dangerous experiments with debris taken from around Meridia. All attempts by the Ministry of Truth to contact the dissidents for re-education have failed. Well, geez, who would have thought that simply asking them nicely to stop their shenanigans wouldn't work? That's how I solved 90% of my problems. I saw the other 10% with precision orbital strikes. The Freedom Alliance is ordered to eradicate their ability to broadcast dangerous untruths and destroy any research they have conducted. Remember that the only religion approved by the Ministry of Truth is the Super Church of Maynard's Democracy. Pray liberty. Yeah, see, about that, that's another beef that I personally have with the Ministry. I worship Cyril, the love goddess, myself, whose primary tenet is to be good to one another. Amongst other things, let's move on. There are 3 victory conditions that come with this Alliance order. First is to destroy illegal broadcasts and research facilities across 3 missions on the highest difficulty you can complete. This shouldn't be too hard considering the broadcast center standard construction templates are pretty lightly armored and tend to explode violently after being shot at by pretty much anything. Research facilities are a little harder to crack, so you'll need a 500 kg or the classic Hell Bomb. A precision orbital strike in the right spot could erase the browser history rather definitively as well. Next, extract more than 50% of the samples per mission to better support the Democracy space station. I do this already, even though I have long since purchased all the ship modules available, partly to help out the rest of my squad, but also to pad those sample collective numbers. I still send resources off to Desi using a fake name, too. Lastly, answer at least 1 SOS beacon to rescue Helldivers in need. Announce yourself as a Freedom Alliance member and dive with a friend if possible. I always enjoy this one. I like spreading the word of the Freedom Alliance, and I definitely enjoy helping people who might be in a bit of a bind. This Alliance order will last from Friday, December 6th to Sunday the 8th. And I might be a little late on reporting on this because I was already off tending to my part of it. I streamed for nearly 3.5 hours yesterday night, spreading the light of freedom and democracy with Commander Rod, Captain Rex, and the Ghost of Tibbet, all veterans in their fields, true professionals, and utter joys to work with. As per usual, this Alliance order comes with its own recommended loadout. Do bear in mind, these loadouts are optional, and are intended to make an already interesting community challenge a little bit more so. Just a little volleyball of the net to keep things spicy, you know? And I already like the look of this one. We have here a pair of recommended primaries. The reprimand for bots is a simply excellent suggestion. This SMG strikes like the wrath of the Starlight Goddess herself, even if it is lacking a little bit in effective range. Devastators won't be able to stomach the 45 caliber bullets you're spitting forth, and will go down like an unwanted tax for the Ministry of Prosperity upon the disenfranchised. That's not a joke. They do that kind of thing all the time. I mean, seriously, what do you think the Democratic Lottery is? Tax on the poor. The halt is suggested for the bug front, in between stunner shells, shutting down stalkers who were bearing down on your buddy for daring to check his supertude notifications in the midst of battle because a certain radio personality uploaded a new broadcast, sorry not sorry, or the flechette shells blasting down problematic armored bugs like the file spewers. You have a simply wonderful tune that any termitid can dance to. We have the P4 Senator for a secondary, which is a very popular item and common choice among the Liberation Fleet regardless of front. I prefer, ironically, the Loyalist Plasma Pistol or the Bushwhacker, but I can understand why so many adore this Anger of the Langam cannon. If it hit any harder, it would blow the planet that your target was standing on out of its orbit. Next is your utility slot, thermite grenades. Again, very popular item regardless of warfront, and armors like the Juggernaut that grant 2 additional grenades just make it all even better. But that's not where this loadout is going. Instead, it wants you to don the classic Hell armor from the First Galactic War, the DP Double-Aught Tactical Armor and Default Cape. Really going back to basics here, but there's nothing at all wrong with that. The original look of the Helldivers is triumphant, patriotic, dare I say, iconic. Let's talk stratagems now. The things that separate us all from simply being mooks with too many guns and too few clues. We have here 500 kg Strike and Strafing Run. Both are simply excellent choices after the recent buffs. Strafing Runs are akin to the A-10 Warthog strikes from Old Earth. What's a Warthog? Oh, it's a older aircraft used by America prior to the Unification Wars, specialized towards ground assaults. It utilized a 30mm Gatling-type type autocannon, rather amusingly manufactured by a washing machine company to, shall we say, neutralize targets. It's kind of crazy, you know? Washing machines spin to get rid of stains, and the Gal-8 machine gun spins to turn people into them. I also heard that if the HN fired its weapon for too long, it would start having problems with lift because its forward engine thrust would be cut in half in comparison to the Gal's recoil. I had also heard that the HN had the most friendly fire of any aircraft on record for that time period, so it's not shocking to me that the Ministry of Defense, with their rather unsettling fixation on causing those kinds of casualties rather than avoiding them, would hang on to this variety of battlefield asset. Ironically, the Eagle Strafing Run is one of the safest stratagems you can possibly deploy. I have personally never seen anyone get shredded by a strafing run by accident, but that's just my perspective. But that's also off topic. The strafing run is especially effective against bots who can't get out of its way, but it has been known to be equally effective against boats as well, even if they are somewhat more nimble. As for the other stratagem, you certainly don't need me to sing the praises of the 500 kg. Of all the stratagems currently available, I'd say that the 500 kg is the closest Helldivers come to having a signature move. Thunk, boom, smile, move on. The autocannon sentry is another stratagem that is marvelously effective on practically any planet against any foe on any front. Slap ship upgrades onto her, give her some space to work, and she'll turn any number of run-down, undemocratic foes into lovely corpses and blood splatter patterns. It's a good thing. Lastly, the recoilless is one of my personal favorites. I do not believe that there is a faster, more effective way to spew more AT downrange than this humble, simple weapon, especially when you are using the clipped reload technique to shave vital seconds off until your next rocket is ready. I may not use it that often in comparison to the good old tried and true heat warhead, since busting up armored foes is the raison d'etre for the double R, but high explosive warheads have been called collateral damage personified with their generous blast radii. Lastly, we got motivational shocks, helping to dispel the acid attacks from bile spewers and spitters, not to mention the much-hated hunters attempting to wombo combo your patriotic butt into the ground. The bots, as far as I know, don't have any attacks that motivational shocks would help to alleviate, but I have been wrong before. If you happen to know better, dear listeners, leave a comment below pointing out on how your Angel of the Airwaves is wrong. But if you just call me a traitor again, I'm just gonna throw your body in a dumpster. I'm not a chaos diver, darn it! I just think the Ministry of Truth sucks borscht. So, there you have it, everyone. New Alliance Order, new loadout, new war fronts. Where are you heading? Into the TQZ to run the ugly kids out of town one more time to get Esker back? Or are you giving Atari the business in the Northern Galactic periphery? I'll see you all on the bouts, troopers. For liberty, for freedom, for democracy, and for Super Earth. Play me out, Rogan.